The Guptas are taking the fight to Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan. According to the family's lawyer, they will lodge a court application to force the Financial Intelligence Centre to release documents to help in their opposing application against Gordhan. That's despite the lapsed deadlines to file opposing affidavits. Well, to find out the status of this, we joined on the line this morning by the Gupta's lawyer, Gert Van Der Merwe. Mr. Van Der Merwe, good morning and thanks for your time. How's the progress in terms of your demand for information from the Financial Intelligence Centre, the FIC? Have you filed that application yet?
Morning, Dan. No. At the moment, we are at a point where we have requested the information from FIC, and in terms whereof they wrote back to us last week and advised that they will not make the information available.
Why?
They didn't give a reason. In the letter, as my recollection is that they said that we're not entitled to the information. So what we then did is we obtained advice, and in terms of the Act, we're entitled to approach the court for an order.
Why do you believe they're entitled to that information if the FIC itself believes you're not?
Well, the FIC probably just reads the Act. What they do is they saw that the Act says that we're entitled to it when the court gives an order. So then we ask for an order, and then we're entitled to the information, and I'm sure then they'll give it to us. You see, Dan, why we need the information is because we want to give good reasons and explanations for the transactions provided for in the application of the minister. We've said from the start that there's no sinister transaction of whatsoever nature in those transactions, or the list at least, and that is why we want the information, because at the moment we can't deal with them. We don't have the information.
But the FIC Act has got those checks and balances in terms of confidentiality, and access to that information is governed by that. Don't you think that they are managing the situation according to that?
I think they do, Dan. The situation with us is that these allegations were made, and you will recall the Sunday newspapers the Friday following the application, is that one of the headlines was that Gordhan blows the lid of suspicious transactions of Gupta family. And that's just a wrong deduction to make from that. The fact is those transactions might have been reportable, but it might similarly be that there's nothing wrong with those transactions. We want to identify those transactions. I can tell you that no steps were taken by any authority since this application was launched.
Is it the view of your client? Is it the view of your client, Mr. Van Der Merwe, the Gupta family, that none of the 72 transactions amounting to more than 6 billion rand were suspicious?
You must remember there's a definition for suspicious in the Act. So it might be that it's a suspicious transaction and that makes it reportable. But what my clear instruction is that none of these transactions are in any way whatsoever in conflict with the provisions of the Act. It's not to support any irregular conduct whatsoever.
Okay. Now you've been advised that you can apply in order to get a court to get the FIC to give you those documents, but the deadline for you to have filed the affidavit has gone. So what is the process like now? What are you applying for?
It's not uncommon to file opposing papers late, Dan. It happens every day in court proceedings. The 15 days following the notice of intention to oppose is a firm guideline to file papers in order to have a due process. But when you have a good reason like us, where we don't have the information to deal with these transactions, we'll just ask the court for condonation. And in terms of a constitutional environment like ours, a court will always allow us to put our version before court.
So when are you going to lodge the FIC application?
I'm abroad for a moment. I'll be back in the week. I will take final instructions during the course of the week, and we hope to have it out within a day or two thereafter.
Okay, thank you very much. That's the lawyer for the Gupta family, Gert Van Der Merwe.